Bottom left, blue Zerg is Reynor. Top right. Oh no, we're really stay on Reynor here a second. Hold. There he is. There he is. Reynor on the bottom left. Clem in the top right hand side. As we get this set to begin. Edge gas, Rax gas. I mean, Clem did find some success on post-youth and against some of the Zergs in eSports World Cup, but this is going to be still a challenge. It's a big map. It's a good map for Zerg. There's a ton of bases available. Very intrigued to see what Clem has planned. Of course, like we do have the benefit of a series advantage right now. If Clem just takes a map, then if Clem just takes a map, then obviously we will have Basilisk having to revive somebody already, and then they would have to 2-0 in return against whoever Liquid sent out. That might be a skillers, might be a laser. If it was like, yeah, expecting a Sterile revive, maybe send out a laser with some sneaky builds. Feels like there's some possibility for things to not quite go completely as expected there, but yeah, let's see how this TvZ goes first, because with the way that Clem's been playing, there is not really much guarantee that it goes 1-1 despite the map advantage that Reynor has. And again, it's kind of wild because this is going to be Reynor playing a good Zerg map to begin with, and then if he loses, he would get another map pick, so that's another chance to kind of get a go at it. Couple queens on the way out, we get that set up here. So you've seen the Reaper firing, a couple of drones starting to drop for the moment. Just hop out over to the side there. It's just going to be getting away for the moment, getting out after putting in a little bit of initial scouting in. Speed, couple queens, a few drones all coming up. There's extra barracks coming down. We're going to see the command center on the way as well. So Clem going towards a triple CC. No surprise to see an economy focused opening. Of course, Reynor no fast third hatchery yet, and that might keep Clem guessing for a little bit here as well. So possibility to kind of keep Clem on edge. I see a little Reaper grenade going down. A few shots going to fire up over there. Now we're going to be seeing this Reaper actually a little bit stuck. The Hellion gets there though to get rid of the drone. The Reaper will get away as the Queens turn their attention onto the Hellions for a moment. Cute little play by Clem, little things, and now just denying that third hatch a little bit longer. Hellions will commit through. Little grenade goes down, push the Queens back. Again, anything Clem can do to delay that is basically the plan right now. Just delaying as much as possible. Just trying to be a real little pain in the butt as Reaper Hellion comes back over and nabs that creep tumor as well. I think it's going to go for a wraparound. A couple Hellions getting chased away. Both of them starting to drop right there. So that is going to be a cleanup made as Reaper still has to keep going running. Instant pack coming through. I'm just going to be having a few lings coming up as well. All of that on the way at the moment. Probably just going to come across there, just going to land onto the base for a couple of moments, just going to take position. Feeling's going to move around as well. Let's see what they can get up to as the Spire, the Bane Nest, the Lings, all in production still. +1 attack and combat shield continuing through. Obviously, Clem's starting to come down the ramp and just try to see if there's anything he can put some damage on. Quite going to succeed just yet, though. So nothing too crazy, just a few Marines moving around, and obviously, and again, delayed that third base a lot initially, but that's been pretty much it so far, as our Lings are going to run forwards here. And you're still gathering together, a few more Marines getting healed up as well. You've seen our Lings and Mutas continue to chase those, that medevac, trying to get away here. Trying to pull out, but that's going to be a cleanup from Reynor, and Clem maybe in a little bit of trouble right now. Those Mutas catch him a bit off guard. Here's kind of somewhat the expected maybe answer to Clem's ability to be all over the map, and already Reynor is starting to jump on this, and he is absolutely taking a handle on this game. Clem may not have enough anti-air to survive this. A few Marines are going to continue back over in that direction. He is just about maybe going to hold. He does have a turret in place there. That's huge, as Reynor is only on 50 drones, so he is somewhat committed to dealing damage on this setup. If you don't succeed with this damage, then might be in a little bit of trouble. So we've seen our Marine's going to stand there. The Mutalisk will start to go down. There's a good fight from Reynor. Viking to help out. The few Marines going huge. The tank survived a very long time, I have to say. Tank really lived a long time there, as those few more Lings just morph into Banelings. Armor upgrade coming through as well. Just going to get that online. Is now going to come in from the left-hand side, and I'll say though, Clem's got 1-1 upgrades, and I actually think he starts to stabilize off of this initial little bit of lane muta aggression, so I actually think this starts to go pretty decently as the mutas will continue onto the engineering base. And a few Marines showing up with the missile turret there to push that back once more. Bane's are going to try and show up onto this mineral line. Reynolds starting to run by already, try to get some damage dealt right from the get-go. Just going to try and find a little bit of something. TvZ going down, continuing through for the moment here. Going to be having the Mutalisk continue to set up then, so they're just going to still try and make their way in. A few Lings coming across and try and bounce back there wherever possible as well. It's going to be having the Marines able to get rid of a few Zerglings at the moment, just getting a couple more taps, a couple more kills. And at the moment, Clem's starting to take a supply lead. The upgrades in his favor as well. Like I say, Reynor put a lot into that initial attack, and it just, at this point, you can see, has not really done enough. So this is unfortunately becoming a bit of a rough situation for him. Mutalisk still moving about there. Just going to be going the other direction. We do see a hatchery going up on the far left-hand side, so just going to get that set in the next few moments. Let me just come back over. The Marines are going to continue to move around. Marines are going to continue through to see what we can get up to for the moment. Our Marines are going to fight. The Ling Bane going to continue forwards. And it is obviously larger armies from Reynor, but this is the sort of army that has to really work around the map more so than taking straight up fights. So wouldn't mind there. Just net some Mutalisk as well. So Clem going to benefit from that right from the get-go. And Monty, thank you so much. 54-month resub closing in on 5 years. Hell yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for the continued support, man. Appreciate it. It's going to be seeing our Marines. Medevacs, Thor, continue to come through the center. We've seen the Banes rolling up, the Mutalisks rolling up as well. Banes looking to try and catch. The Mutalisks really do chase on through there, but can't really do much of anything as Clem just settles down on that gold base of his own. So having a gold base active, something Clem's got to be pretty happy with, right? I mean, been working towards that for a little bit, and now actually going to have it up and running. Seems like a pretty good deal. Flings not really going to get too much done over on that direction either, so they're not going to go too far. Just having the army of Clem actually starting to make some progress. Counterattack comes in. Wouldn't mind you not go on the bigger clump of units there, so a little victory for Reynor. He doesn't have to worry about that too much. SCVs will begin to go down, but he does have to deal with this pressure. This army up in the front. Widowmine still burrowing, but not doing too much. Can actually see Clem still reburrowing that Widowmine, though, to try and find the most out of it. Clean those lings up. Marines fighting the Mutas on their own. There's a few Thors, but they really are not in range of the Mutalisks just yet, so they've not been able to really have that much influence, unfortunately. A little bit of a shame. I don't expect those Thors to really do amazingly against the Mutas if given the chance, so I'd expect them to continue looking for that opportunity. He's flying again. Just going to be seeing the SCVs get chased away. Really do just fly between the bases. A lot of SCVs still going down, but it's, I say a lot, 6 is not a lot. The thing is, Reynor is also keeping Clem from pushing further forwards. The big check for Reynor is, can he tech out of the Mutiling Bane at any stage? Or, I mean, does he even want to? Because to be fair, right now his army looks like it's meant to be just mass Mutalisk, and that's how he's going to approach this, so just trying to go with the masses of Mutalisks and trying to make that work. We also have our infestation pick coming up, so we are seeing tech on the side of Reynor being added into at the moment. Just getting more of that on the go as we speak. We'll see there is the decision to kind of make that tech up, like I say. It's kind of an interesting one. You never really know for sure how it's going to go. Yes, we'll find a missile turret there. There are Widowmines you got to be careful of, though, and that Widowmine shot will go off. Mutalisks will be splashed. The SCV's going down again, but I mean, the thing is, the rate at which we're killing SCVs is nothing too crazy, right? Anytime we're killing SCVs, it feels like we get an answer to it pretty quickly from Clem. He can rebuild those SCVs, and he's also got action going on himself. But I guess this is the kind of TvZ we wanted to see, some back and forth, some harass, some run-bys, action on both sides. This is the sort of game that these two play the very best of. They are so good at those quick, fast-paced games. They really match up well against one another. There's very few players that can really go toe-to-toe with these guys when it comes to speed. So when they get to go speedy against each other, it really is a treat. And we're starting to see a little bit of that right now as Clem pushing down, looking for this base, is going to get it. The Lings and the Banes continue forward. The Marines still pulling backwards here. May have to lift up into the Medivacs. Will evacuate the Thor. Just lets everything else run away by ground. So actually gets a lot of that out without issue in the end. Thought it was going to be a little scarier, to be honest, when I first started to go a little bit haywire. But, you know, like I say, did not end up too badly, I guess. Bane's going to roll up this ramp once again. Thor being lifted. I love the preservation on the Thors. Not exactly cheap units, and the sort of units which really do so well for you in the larger fights, given time. And we're seeing once more, it's this gold base that's a priority for Clem to deny. He can get into position to deny very nicely, and good, positions too, because he obviously denied from the back, so it's difficult for Reynor to run through the gold base to fight you, because you're going to run through a choke point there immediately. And then on top of that, you also have just ramps to work with. Now this is going to be where Reynor says, yeah, well, this is exactly why I don't really want to go and, fight this straight up. And so he will not. He will go running across the map and try and fight it. And force Clem to, pay attention back at home, come back, play this counter-attacking style, and just continue to see success with this is the plan currently, as our Mutalisks will be flying into the main base. And again, Clem has to constantly stay on top of those. They are such a threat. They can do so much so quickly if left alone, and they have found a way in. finding a way in gives them a very good chance of making something significant happen here. So, yeah, scary couple moments for Clem. Again, has to let up the pressure during that time. Reynor on his way to 3-3 upgrades, so the upgrade lead that Clem's pretty much maintained through the game starting to disappear. He actually got +3 armor as well, so an upgrade that he absolutely could have had during this, but he's not going to, and that's just going to take a little bit of efficiency away from Clem's hands. Like I say, compared to the expectation, which is to be as efficient as possible, it's just not quite going to be as good as that. A couple snipes coming down, Mutila's getting chased away. Mutila's bio units, Ghosts keep on coming around as well. Just going to move over here once again. As we continue to play the setup on Post Youth. 17 minutes in game so far. Clem once more coming through the center of the map, looking to be a bit aggressive. Reynor's going to swing around the right side with some units as well, so seeing those already getting into position. Bane running up again. Widowmine shot is good for a chunk of Zerglings. Bunch of damage done there right off the bat. And I'm just going to be seeing the Ling Bane continue forward. The Bio going to pull away as well. Do have the Mutas trying to initiate this fight, but anytime the Mutas are trying to initiate, it feels like it goes horribly wrong. Banelings are just dying here as they try and roll forwards. Clem is dropping a bit in supply. Widowmines to back him up the further he goes. Widowmine getting into the Mutalist clump is huge. I believe there's one more Widowmine there as well. No, it was a burrowed Baneling on the line of sight blocker. Clem's actually dropping a lot of supply here as these fights are maybe not going as well as he wanted to. He's also losing a lot of SCV, so he's not staying stable back at home. And slowly but surely, eventually, Reynor has worn down that Clem economy to a point where Clem now, reproduction-wise, is probably not going to get there. Reynor is maybe the only answer to Clem based on what we've been seeing lately in terms of results. And he is getting it done right now as Clem's army supply is still respectable, but it's the SCVs that struggle. And without economy, you can't do too much. Runs through some Widowmines there, Reynor, but if he starts being a bit more cautious about that, I think he's got himself this game in a very good place. And Reynor might finally put a stamp on this and might finally be able to push Clem down a little bit. Question is, can Reynor find a 2-0 here to fully even up this series? If you 2-0 Clem as Reynor, I actually started to like this a lot for Basilisk, because then you're going to have to bring someone out that can try and take a map off Reynor. Otherwise, you have to risk Clem again, who would absolutely have to deliver. I mean, it just starts getting very risky at that point. It does feel like Reynor is getting this first match, this first game. He's not rich. He has had to spend a lot of money to be able to do this. He's been trading pretty consistently. Well, that's a lot better than a lot of people can say they've been a position they've been in against Clem as of late, because Clem has been in some pretty incredible positions lately. Not much kind of goes without saying. You don't go on a near 30 map winning streak without having some pretty solid setups. Well, SCVs go down. Bio still continuing forwards. Hatchery here is going to be taking some more damage as well. Just going to be seeing that knocked down. So Clem is on the counter-offensive. Army supply is okay for him. Like I say, it's just rebuilding is not. He's now going to start losing production, something he really cannot afford to spend money replacing, given the circumstances. He does have some units at home to play the defense against these Mutalists, and boy, does he need to. But again, just more and more SCVs going down. Every time it happens, it just feels as though Clem ends up in a position that is going to be so tough to recover from. It's getting worse and worse and worse for Terran play here, I feel like. I mean, he's not dead, though. And we saw him make a very respectable comeback against Showtime before, so not going to count Kid out until we're absolutely sure that he's not going to be able to go any further. Kind of crazy, some of the situations you can't count Clem out in. And he is genuinely going to get towards being maxed out again here. One of his bigger issues is actually just maybe the freshness of his bases, right? The bases which he's working with, as he does actually get both those Widowmines. The freshness, the bases he's working with, he's had a long time, so even if he does have some economy up, the bases that he's got are not exactly going to be the most healthy. And that could absolutely lead into a bit of a problem in itself as well. Fire coming over, a couple lings going down. Muta's going to fly in again. Marines are going to get over there. Muta's just going to get turned around. Not too much going on as our few Banes are going to press forwards. Widow Mines getting some connections. Big shots going off. Actually saved the Thor. Clem taking a decent fight, I suppose, but at the end there's still enough Zerg to keep going through. Clem has to just lift up and back away. Resilience is still in his nature, obviously. As you can see, he's not going down without a very significant fight. He will obviously refuse to fall easily. And that's what we know Clem and love Clem for as well, right? Because he can just make the most of so little. That's what makes his early game so scary. Problem is, Reynor is now overtaking the top left-hand side of the map. And as that top left-hand side of the map gets taken over, this should become just a larger and larger issue as Clem comes back around the right side. Lisks will fly into this base once more against that massive mutas that Clem has always had to struggle against in this game. Unable to necessarily stabilize against them throughout is definitely one of the reasons why he's been pushed into these very difficult spots pretty much non-stop. Bio, the Liberators coming through again. Gonna get a fight down over here, trying to deny this base. I mean, Reynor doesn't really care about the bottom side, I don't think. He's got the top left. I mean, Clem is, I guess, taking the bottom right, though, so that is going to kind of keep him in it a little bit. You get that bottom right side set up, then, yeah, you're going to give yourself a little bit of a better option there, I suppose. So, yeah, Clem giving himself a base in the bottom right side, and the only problem I really have for Clem, I guess, then, is obviously in the long run, you still got to deal with the fact that your opponent has got a bunch of mutas, right? And so you can't ever just give up your main base unless you spend a huge amount of resources re-establishing units in the main, right? Or production structures from the main elsewhere. Burrowed Banelings continue to go well. Clem now scans to see if there's any more, but you know that feels like a little bit of a late scan. I mean, it feels like if they were going to be used, they were already going to be used. I'm not sure what he was hoping to see. Maybe only half of them got used or something. Uh-oh. Mutalist AFK! Clem gets a bunch of snipes off, and Reynor gives up some mutas for free. A mistake from the Italian Zerg, who... well, it's the kind of mistake you don't expect to see from him. He's usually so good at just being everywhere. Same as Clem, so good at being everywhere so fast. But that's just one moment he got found looking elsewhere for a moment too long. And Clem immediately there to punish it, so... Clem finds a little bit of something. Again, long way to go still to truly bring this back. Reynor... will say, not a lot of gas banked. He has got minerals in the bank, but the gas is limited. See a few more libs sieging up once again. Missile turret firing. Missile turret gonna try and fight against Overseer and Mutalists alike. Again, just units in the main base. That's something that Clem has to then pull so far back to deal with. And you can't deal with these mutas with a low amount of units. You need a lot of them. And that's going to be one of the bigger issues, as Clem is actually going to get caught coming back home. Reynor realizing that may not be quite the fight he's looking for, though. Maybe not quite as open an opportunity as that seemed it would be at first. Oh yeah, the mutas continue to rip apart the main. That's just not going to go anywhere, right? We just continue to see so much done. Oh, nice Widow Mine shots, though. Actually going to get a bunch of lings as they run forward. Well, good Widow Mines to start there. Obviously, Clem cannot afford to lose too many SCVs, and definitely not the base, but, well, that base is fully committed onto. Main base is running out of control, and Clem's sick winning streak of maps is going to come to a close here as Reynor, the only player to take maps off of Clem in EWC, is going to take a map off of Clem here on Post Youth. was hard. It'd be interesting to see what Reynor can do on obviously Clem's map pick, because obviously this would have typically been a Zerg map pick. I know it wasn't the Zerg map pick in this case, but it usually would have been his map pick. What I'm saying. So, yeah, I mean, now we'll see if Reynor can do the same against Clem on a Terran map. Wonder if he's going to play mutas again. I wonder if that's really just the way they feel like they have to play against Clem. These top-end Zergs to have a chance in these very long macro games where Clem has so much time and so many opportunities to usually show his ability to trade well and be extremely efficient. Things continue to run in. The SCV is going down. Clem's below 100 supply. We're finally going to see Clem losing a map in the World Team League playoffs. Again, it has not happened a lot recently, but it will be possible apparently for Clem to lose maps. Forward baneling is still all around the map. Clem looking a little bit frustrated there. There's even more banelings available. Reynor doesn't pop them just yet, but the idea is already being shown that this is going to be very tough for Clem to stop as more banelings go off this time. And again, I think Clem might have to type something he's not had to type in a couple of weeks, which is GG. Stand strong still, picking off Thors, taking out even more options that Clem has been somewhat leaning upon to try and stay in this. And Ultralis has shown up as well. GG is called. Reynor gets the first map as we get set up to go on this one. It is going to be Reynor Clem, map number 2. Bottom left-hand side, our blue Zerg player from Basilisk. This is Reynor. In the top right, our red Terran player is Team Liquid's Clem. Still a map win, like I say, could be huge here. Drone sets up on the natural. I'm just going to get that hatchery in position, get that set to go. Take a couple of moments to get established. Set up in the early stages. No proxies, no pool first. Nothing we have to shout about and scream about in the very early few minutes here. Everything stays pretty regular for the moment. Anyway, just take a couple moments here, obviously see where we're going to go, see what the plan kind of becomes. Definitely a few moments of calm based on everything else that we've been seeing so far, though. SCV just scouting, obviously wants to make sure nothing too crazy is happening early. Clem will feel much more comfortable in a more standard, longer game as the drone starts to mine through the mineral wall on that left-hand side. Just starts to fight, a couple lings taking damage, taking a lot of shots actually. One ling will go down. The lings is going to go peeling away for the moment there. Coming up in the main base, we get that on the go. Seeing that orbital, our command center, a couple of Hellions, all of that coming through as well. Reaper have the Queen nearby, looking to poke it a little bit. I hope a few of them shots. The Lings are going to still nibble at the Reaper. Reaper does just about get pushed away in the end. While Hellions firing, Queen's going to be taking some shots. So a few hits just going through, and again, that Starboard going to lift off, and that's going to try and go elsewhere as well. Hellions down the right side, Overseer morphing in. Our Queen still moving about a little bit as well, trying to see what else they can provide for the moment. Overlord going to set up. Decisive Reynor deciding that he doesn't want to play a normal game on Clem's map pick. And so we are going to be seeing, well, Ling's running into the natural. Clem's Hellion's already in a bad spot. He's trying to build a bunker over here, but he's in trouble straight away. The other Hellions do show up now. Okay, well, those need to be careful. They cannot get surrounded. They cannot die here to these Lings, and he has controlled it pretty well. Ling's now going into the main base as Reynor is going to try and make this hectic, busy, and a little bit all over the place. .27 SCVs going down, and Clem takes his hands off the keyboard. He knows it's over. He types out GG. He lets it go. And Reynor is going to do a little dance as he